You put your money in the bank and you assume it's safe. But a 2020 investigation has discovered just how vulnerable banks can be in cyberspace. High-tech crooks using home computers are breaking and entering electronic vaults filled with millions of dollars. Could your bank account be raided? Well, Sam Donaldson shows us how banks and other financial institutions can be held up along the information superhighway.
It's a hold-up! Hit the floor!
It's part of American folklore, the armed bandit making a quick getaway. But hold your horses. Times have changed. The modern-day bank robber doesn't need a pistol, just a PC and a modem.
Our business is to protect financial institutions from the electronic burglar.
Bill Marlowe is an executive vice president with SAIC, a leader in the booming business of computer security. We visited him to see how his cyber posse tracks down hackers. Intruders like these in Holland, who actually videotape themselves breaking into U.S. military computers.
A hacker is an individual, not necessarily a bad individual, but an individual who spends time trying to beat the computer system. Those people sometimes turn bad and they try to commit fraud against financial institutions.
Is this something that's theoretically possible, or has it actually ever happened?
It's actually occurred.
The most famous cyber robbery we know about involved none other than Citibank in New York. But it was engineered halfway around the world, in St. Petersburg, Russia. Using this computer equipment, police say this man, Vladimir Levin, transferred more than $10 million from Citibank accounts to accomplices around the world. Citibank detected the problem early and called in the FBI. Together, they watched as Levin made 40 separate transactions before they were able to close in and arrest him. They got most of the money back. Most. $400,000 is still missing.
So how do you rob a bank with a computer? How do you sit down at a keyboard like this and steal millions of dollars from someplace thousands of miles away? Marlowe says hackers have a growing bag of tricks designed to break through the electronic defenses of a target. Among them, programs to break passwords. It's like the movie about a kid breaking into a computer that controlled missiles.
Yes.
Joshua's trying to find the right code so he can launch the missiles himself.
What it's doing is it's looking for a matched pattern. Once it finds the match pattern, it knows what your password is.
The tools are designed by hackers for hackers. Like this man. We'll call him Cody. He says he, like Vladimir Levin, broke into Citibank, along with other banks.
His break-in was tailored to steal and launder money. Our break-in wasn't to steal money. Our break-in was to monitor the network.
Badge. We met Cody at a very unconventional convention in Las Vegas. DEF CON is a haven for hackers.
All right, that web server's up with the webcam, so...
It's on the cutting edge of technology and legality. One hacker even slipped us this piece of paper, a formula, we were told, for making free long-distance calls. Security experts are also here to learn.
It's very important for me to come to hackers conventions and see what the hackers can do, because the companies don't want to tell me.
Often the companies don't even know they've been broken into, like one of Cody's hits.
I wasn't out really looking for banks. None of us were. We just came across it.
The it Cody came across was the World Bank in Washington, D.C., that disperses billions of dollars each year to dozens of nations.
We watched hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars being transferred. I don't think the World Bank knows. I don't think they ever knew.
The World Bank didn't know until we told them. We showed evidence Cody gave us to officials here and to an independent expert. Both confirmed that Cody apparently did break in and establish an electronic back door which allowed him to come and go as he pleased. He didn't actually steal any money, but he says he could have.
But it isn't individual accounts experts are most worried about. Imagine if terrorists or organized crime were able to input false data at the stock exchange. Or keep a major bank from reconciling its books at the end of the day. A presidential commission finds there is a low but growing risk of a large-scale cyber attack that could cause financial chaos.
My pager went off, and I had an emergency phone call from the CEO of a fairly large bank here in the United States. They had received an extortion note electronically that said, we are going to be able to shut down your computer systems.
Shut them down by delivering a sophisticated version of this, the blue screen of death. It causes the computer to crash, and data not already saved is lost.
So the extortion would be not to say I'm going to steal the money, but I'm going to shut you down and make it so expensive from the standpoint of your customers' goodwill and their ability to operate that you'll pay me.
Yes, sir. That's exactly how an extortion. This is the high-tech version of the old mafia protection game. I won't break your legs if you pay me. I won't shut down your systems if you pay me.
It's not really a problem at all, Sam.
John Byrne, senior counsel for the American Bankers Association, says all this scare talk exaggerates things.
2 recent presidential studies have shown that the banking industry is the best prepared out of any industry to protect against that sort of thing.
We've talked to a lot of outside experts. They tell us that you have a lot of losses, and they're called in to fix the problem after the losses occur. Are they not telling us the truth?
Here's the deal. The consultants stand to gain monetarily if people believe them. I'm here to tell you that people shouldn't believe and consumers should still trust their banks.
Trusting your bank is one thing, but consultants insist they've never met a computer system that was completely hacker-proof. And to prove it, they let us watch something we believe has never been videotaped before.
Who wants to do a network map, Mike?
It's called a penetration test. Sure. And Cambridge Technology Partners agreed to let us videotape the process if we agreed not to reveal the identity of its justifiably nervous client, whom we'll call Client X.
Client X is one of the largest financial institutions, not only in the United States, but in the world.
Leading our break-in team is Yobi Benjamin. With him, Gorka, Mike, Nate, Bob, Ben. Mostly self-taught 20-something hackers, now working for Cambridge.
Not authorized to access the service. Not yet.
The first thing we learned is hacking isn't all just fancy finger work.
We are going to be lying to them through our teeth in order to get this information.
It's called social engineering. In this case, the team needs a password to a potentially critical system. Mike and Ben discuss different strategies.
So which one do you want to do?
We can do yours.
Oh, could we?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, we did yours last time.
Yeah.
They're going to pretend to be a Client X employee.
Hi, my name's Peter Lamangelo, and I am with, it's Lamangelo, Lemonjello. I'm calling from California.
Mike's made up the name, of course. He's really winging it.
Basically, we just need to get into our router. It's in a remote office. For some reason or another, we've been locked out. We need to get into it.
And it works.
36989. Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Peter Lamangelo.
I can't believe you actually spelled it.
I know. She's like, wait a minute, this is Lemonjello.
Whoever, he gets a password he shouldn't have been given. Soon they find another part of Client X's system that's vulnerable.
We can capture email, we can capture logins and passwords, we can capture all the traffic that would normally be going to the machine on the client's end.
But they've just started. The client has thousands of computers. It will take days to find the vulnerabilities that'll give them access to key financial systems. They can't seem to get in through the internet. So they try a more direct attack, known as war dialing. This computer will keep calling company phone numbers looking for modems. The next step is figuring out passwords for these new ports. Let's see, what's a good password?
PASSWORD. Enter. Permission granted. We are in! Woo-hoo!
That's right, the password is password. And it turns out to be a big break. Soon, they have access to all sorts of systems.
Oh my God. We now own the desktop of this particular person.
They're in. They're undiscovered.
Bingo! Financial systems.
And they own Client X and could transfer or delete financial data. Time to report their findings.
If you're trusted in one computer, you're trusted everywhere. So it was relatively easy for us to spread our influence throughout the firm.
Client X agrees changes are needed.
We haven't had any incidents of note to date, but it really makes me concerned about the future.
I'm downloading their programs.
So how vulnerable are financial institutions like Client X?
This firm is one of the largest financial institutions, one of the most sophisticated, and yet you can see the level of penetration that we had with them. So I think the proof is in the pudding right there.
There they go! It seems the cyber bandits will always be a step ahead of the cyber posse, which means plenty of work for security firms and big bills for their clients. What does it mean for the average consumer? More passwords, signature verification, systems to certify your neighborhood internet bank is legit. For now, the consumer is generally protected against losses. But it's unclear, in the next generation of digital cash, who will be responsible.
I think things are going to get much worse if nothing's done. I mean, just because we didn't steal the money doesn't mean that someone else won't.
Both the World Bank and Citibank say they've closed electronic gaps in their security systems, but it's going to be a tough battle to win. There will always be hackers trying to break in. And last month it took computer consultants just 56 hours to crack through a sophisticated data scrambling code used by many banks.